Welcome to today's episode where we dive deep into mom guilt. Or better to say, we dive deep into how to not feel guilt. Because the honest truth here is really we all do feel mom guilt. Whether you are a new mom, a seasoned mom, a stay-at-home mom, a working mom, literally, mom guilt is there for all of us. But I really want to help you to see why mom guilt comes up, why mom guilt is not happening because of what you think, how to handle mom guilt, and the interesting fact why we even call it mom guilt. Let's dive in. And today's episode, maybe I'm going to be a little bit more, even more fired up. I'm usually fired up, but even more fired up. So if you have little ones around, maybe you want to have your AirPods on and not really let them listen to this one. Because the reality is, I am very much, let's say, passionate. Yeah, that's the right word. I'm very much passionate about talking about guilt and how to not feel guilty because this is directly tied to feeling good enough or feeling not good enough. So think about when you think that you are not good enough, that you are falling short, that you are not good as that you are not enjoying every second, that you, etc., like what you think makes you guilty. It is creating the guilt in your body. Like think about when you think I'm not good enough because I cannot do this, I'm not like this, I'm not cut out for motherhood. It creates guilt in your body. It's like, oh fuck. I'm just not cut out for this. I don't enjoy playing with the same toys. I don't enjoy, honestly, this baby face. I don't enjoy this or that. Makes you feel guilty. But the other way around is true too. When you feel guilty, when you feel mom guilt is all about where you fall short, where you are doing something wrong, where you are not good enough. So, not good enough, feeling not good enough, and feeling mom guilt is like connected 100%. So, as you can imagine, I picked the title for this podcast, Good Enough Mom, for a reason. Because I really want to fucking empower you in your own ways, being you, respecting who you are, your personality, your dreams, what you want in your life, and still feel a good enough mom. We love our kids so much and still can crave the autonomy, the space, a break. And mom guilt comes always when we believe that we are doing something wrong, when we fail to do something. So let's dive in because I really want you to see what mom guilt really is, where it comes from, and what you can do about it. Are you ready? Let's dive in. So I want to start with there is one single, and like it happens rarely, but one single way I can think of that guilt, mom guilt, could be a positive thing. So I'm going to tell you what it is, and then later on, I'm going to tell you why guilt is a fucking terrible feeling. It doesn't make us a better mom. It doesn't make us good, do better or more empowered things. Not at all. Like guilt really sinks you, like let you sink in into a hole. It paralyzes you. It makes you monitor yourself. It takes you out of the present moment. It takes you out of really enjoying whatever you have at that moment with your kid because you're just monitoring yourself. Whether you are falling short again, you are doing not good enough. Is it good enough? Or should I do more or enjoy more or like whatever? Like, you know what I mean? It's like literally has no upside. So the only upside which I can think of guilt can have is where we really like use mom guilt only for a second as a signal, as an indicator. So I give you a very specific example. Let's say that you are sitting on the ground next to your toddler and your toddler is playing and you are scrolling your phone and your toddler starts acting out because she or he wants attention and you have been on your phone for half an hour now or 20 minutes, whatever, and they want attention. So the mom guilt kicks in. Oh, I didn't even realize I've been on my phone so long. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, I'm really glued to my phone. I should do something about this because I'm addicted to my phone. I don't want my baby to see that I'm always on my phone or I prefer my phone to them. So in that case, in this very specific case, and I'm not saying that you are glued to your phone, pick your own. Like, what is the situation? So the guilt comes up. What you did was not right. This is not what you want to do. Again, we are letting should just go to hell. Like, we don't want shoulds here. You want to be more present with your child. You want to really like change the addiction to scrolling and to your phone. And it like when you really see guilt as something that it is just a signal, like, oh, okay, I see. So I feel guilty because I really want to change the way I'm scrolling my phone when I'm with my kid. I want to be more present with my kid. So I use this as a signal, as an indicator. And then the real feeling, which is going to be useful, will be motivation, inspiration, or that you are empowered to change how you are scrolling your phone or how much you are on your phone when the kids are around you. Like the useful feeling is going to be what makes you change things up, which is going to be dedication, motivation, um, being decisive, empowered, like what it is that you are going to do about it. So you are going to change that. So in that rare case where we can really use guilt as a signal, as an indicator, like, oh, something that I really want to change things up, yes, it can be positive. So use them as such, as indicators, as signals like, oh, there is something here. I really want to change in order to be a better mom. That can be good. Use as such. But normally, what guilt does to us, it is really pulling us into this despair, this not good enoughness, like whatever I'm doing is just not good enough. And then the lot of shoulds are coming. So the shoulds are always around guilt. So notice those shoulds in your head. I should spend more time with my kid. I should yell less, which can be even empowering. But when it is more of this guilty should, at the same time, you are telling yourself that you are wrong, you cannot make it happen, you cannot change, you will never be patient with them, you will never learn how to yell less. Go back to the episode when I talk about the how to yell less. Um, so I just want you to see that feeling actively, like processing how we are saying when we are in the feeling of guilt, it doesn't make you a better mom. It doesn't make you spend more time with your kids. It is just really making you monitor yourself, your behavior, and it makes you feel like shit. So the very important thing about guilt is when we just generally talking about guilt, guilt is a feeling when you believe that you did something wrong or you failed to do something. And this is crazy because when you think about mom guilt and why we call it mom guilt is because I talked about this so many times already on this podcast. We have a fucking crazy long list of expectations, like how we should do mothering correctly, what a good mom does or doesn't, who is a good mom, like having that idealized image. So we already have a fucking way too long list of expectation, an idealized standard of the good mom who we should be. And obviously, if we compare ourselves to that, we just always fall short. So we can feel guilty all of the time, literally all of the time. And it's just super. like super, super, super interesting now to think for a moment where really is guilt coming from. Why do you feel guilty? Where mom guilt comes up for you? Think about your life, your everyday, today. Where did it come up? Like, really, where mom guilt is really coming from. Because the interesting thing about mom guilt is that, as I said, if you have a newborn, then you are going to feel guilty if you want to break from them because they're just so cute and tiny. And what's wrong with me that I already want to just run away or buy a one-way ticket? You're going to feel guilty even if you're a seasoned mom and you have like older kids and like, oh, I should be more part of their lives. I should know more about what's going on with them. Like literally, when you are and we are shooting ourselves into this, what we should do more or better, guilt is already there. But the thing is that I want you to understand is guilt is not coming from what you are thinking that it's coming from. Guilt is not coming from you wanting a break. Guilt is not created by you hiring a babysitter. Guilt is not jumping on you because you have a date night with your husband. Guilt is not coming from those circumstances, those happenings. Because if it would be true, then let's talk about specifics. If guilt, like every single mom would feel guilty when they would hire a babysitter. So hiring a babysitter makes you feel guilty. It would mean that all of the moms, everybody on this earth would feel guilty. But that is not true. The same with daycare. If putting your child to daycare would create mom guilt, every single one of the mothers on this earth would feel guilty about choosing daycare, which is not true. So, me personally, I also felt very fucking much of guilt when I put my kids to daycare, especially my first. And it was like soul wrecking. It was like, oh my God, I was crying so much. Like, oh, what kind of a mother I am. She's just so tiny. And I live in a daycare. But then mom guilt doesn't come from the fact. Mom guilt doesn't come from hiring the babysitter, choosing the daycare, going back to work, having a break, having a date night. Mom guilt comes from what you are telling yourself about it. There is a mom who is hiring a babysitter and knows that she needs that break. It is essential for her to recharge, to be a better mom, and she doesn't feel guilty. You might feel guilty because you tell yourself that you shouldn't need a break from your kid. Mom guilt comes from what exactly you are telling yourself that you should do differently, feel differently, be a different person. So, mom guilt doesn't come from the fact, which is good news, because we don't have to hack all the facts, all the circumstances in our lives. You just have to be aware what you are saying to yourself. Why you feel guilty? Because you are shooting yourself. You shouldn't feel like that. You shouldn't need a break. You shouldn't want to go to the gym. You shouldn't want to go back to work. You should not leave your child with a stranger when it comes to a babysitter, for example. Oh my God, I could talk about that, just about that topic so much because I've coached on this one, like hiring a babysitter and being okay with it. And like, oh my God, I coached on this very topic so many times. There's so much guilt coming up when it's like, oh my God, and I'm just leaving my baby? For what? For me having 2 hours? For what? For us having a date night? Really? This is what I would do to my baby? Oh my God, so I just stop here. It would like literally, it would be an hour just of me talking about moms who I coached on hiring a babysitter and being okay with that because we have this fucking conditioning in our brain that we should be selfless, we should serve, the family, we should be on a mother 24/7 and enjoy every fucking second of it. And when you don't, and when you want to have a break, then somehow you are falling short because, oh, you need a break from your kids. So it can be really like the social expectation, how we should show up, and what we talked about, that idealized, like perfect mom image. Or it can be already internalized that you are expecting yourself that you should not want to have a break. You should not want to have gym time, date night, whatever. And that then guilt comes up. So actually, there are two ways how guilt is created in us, how guilt is coming from. The number one, which we just talked about, coming from your thoughts. You are you are really telling yourself that you should not leave your child, you're a bad mom if you need a break, or whatever your self-talk is. Your thoughts are creating that guilt in you. And this is good news because thoughts are optional. When you notice them, then you can change them. So number one, mom guilt is coming from your thoughts. Number two, when it is rather hard to really notice what exactly you are thinking, what exactly you are telling yourself, but it feels like very much a very activated feeling in emotion in your body, then it can come from trauma. It can come from trauma that it is triggered because this is what you learned, this is how you were raised, this is what you experienced, and then it triggers you into, oh my god. So it's harder to catch because there is no linear thinking in it, there is no specific thought to catch. It's more about when there is certain thing that you feel guilt around, it is really activation in your body. You cannot even say why it's an activation in your body. So, one specific example I can give you is recently there was a client who wanted to rest without guilt. So, her problem or her challenge was that she was a stay-at-home mom, so when she was doing the school run, the daycare drop off, and then she went home, right away she jumped into doing things. She never just, sit down to enjoy a moment. And then again, picking the kids up, doing this, going there, going to the playground. It was always like on. And the moment she would have just literally sit down on the couch and like not doing anything, immense guilt right away. Like, oh my God, I should do this, I should do that. So even if she would have had, like, that 30 minutes to herself, she never enjoyed it. She never truly recharged because she felt guilty about just having that time. And watch out, we are going to talk about this in different episodes, I'm sure. Watch out because this is a very deep woman conditioning, that our worth is tied to doing, serving others. Like we are worthy if we are providing, we are worthy when we are doing things for others. And then when you just sit down and then guilt was like floating, it's like she couldn't really enjoy that. So I'll tell you just a little bit later what we did with her, but we had to work on that because it was not thinking in her case. She couldn't really find the thoughts that she was telling herself that I should not rest in this moment. It was really coming from her body, that she was restless, that she had to do the dishwashing, that she had to do something in the house because she just couldn't fucking sit down and enjoy doing nothing. And it is a very deep woman conditioning. So in that case, it was rather a trauma. It was rather the woman conditioning that we have to do, we have to serve. There is something wrong if I would just sit here and do nothing. And for a moment, let's dive a little bit deeper in this very topic. Why do we call this mom guilt? Not simply guilt. We are talking about mom guilt specifically. Like that guilt doesn't exist, or why should we even call it mom guilt as such? So this is super important. That guilt does exist. So when a dad is working late and missing bedtime or showering the kids or whatever, he can feel guilty. Like if he's telling himself that, oh, what a terrible dad I am, that I'm not participating in their lives. What a terrible dad I am, that again I missed bedtime stories today. Obviously, that they are capable of feeling these feelings. But we talk about mom guilt specifically because, generally speaking, men have less of this conditioning that they should deserve the rest, that they should deserve the break, that they should serve and provide and be selfless and sacrificing everything first, and then maybe after they can have a little bit of space and time for themselves. They have less of that. So I am not talking about that guilt today. They are capable of feeling that. So watch out because we don't want to negate the fact that they can. We love our partners. We love our participant dads who are really real partners in parenting. They can feel. But I really specifically talk about mom guilt today because it is in the name, there is already part of the answer that we moms are expected to sacrifice everything, to serve, to be on 24/7. So, for God's sake, when you would just want to have 5 minutes to yourself, when you want to have a girls' night out, when you want to do something other than mothering, then guilt will come. And if you don't notice them as such, as, oh, this is just a conditioning, and then my brain is freaking out because this is the thought I have. Or what I said is like, I'm just sitting down and I would just have a moment to myself, and that trigger already comes up in your body, then guilt, mom guilt becomes a problem in your life. So, what I want to help you with this episode is really to be able to notice it, know more about where it comes from, and to be able to handle it. Very, very interesting, and this is just a personal story from my personal life, is that I have an amazing husband, and he's really, really great as a dad. But here comes the but. The really interesting part is that when he feels like he reached his capacity, this is a weekend, this is a Saturday afternoon, he just doesn't feel like playing with the kids, then he just sits on the couch and he is reading his magazine. He is reading his favorite articles, whatever. And the kids are next to him playing. And it is just so like amazing and fantastic for me to see how my brain works, is that I would not really allow myself to do that. First of all, I don't think my kid would eventually let me just sit next to them and read because they normally don't, and they will just jump on me. But like seeing him not feeling guilty for a second because he already played with the kids. He already did a lot that day, and he deserves that, 20 minutes just to read his article. And he's not making it mean anything that he is not a good enough dad. He just reached his capacity. He needs a moment and he's giving it to himself so easily without guilt. And think about how we women, we have true difficulty with this. Like, I cannot count how many times it came up in coaching sessions in several different nuanced ways that I should. Oh, no, no, I cannot do that. I should. I should be there for my kids. This should be me who is dropping them off, picking them up. I should be there in school events. I should be there with every bedtime story. It should be me who puts them to bed. Like always, like if it's not me, then oh my God, that I'm doing something wrong. So what if you can love your kids love your kids more than anything, more than anyone, and still fucking need a 5 minute break. You can love your kids and be an amazing mother, and still you can have a break. You can want to have a break. And that's fine. That's totally fine because we feel guilty. And according to my experience, dads don't feel as much guilty when it comes to everyday life and choosing their own ways of relaxation or just checking out a little bit, watching TV, having their chat or magazine or like whatever they are doing. Because the expectation to be selfless and be on and serving, it's so deeply rooted in us women. But this is not human. You also have a human capacity. And you are going to be such a better mom when you had that break, when you had a moment, when you could recharge. And we know that, but we still feel guilty when it comes to actually give this to ourselves. So I want to end this very important episode with going just a little bit deeper into more of how to handle mom guilt. So the number one way how we can handle mom guilt is already what we talked about, noticing the thoughts that are creating them. Mom guilt is not something that just jumps on you. Mom guilt is not something that you cannot deal with because it is just created in your head. When you notice the thoughts, what make you feel guilty, and these are normally like shoulds or I shouldn't, then notice them. And if you want to, and this is the second step, change them. Your thoughts are optional. Change them, reframe them. So, for example, if you tell yourself that I shouldn't want to have a break from my child, it's maybe a way too big of a jump to I deserve a break as a mom. So find the thought in between these two. Find the thought. This is what we call a thought ladder in coaching. Find a thought that is more empowering, like doesn't make you feel guilty. Like we release the guilt there with the first thought that you should not even consider wanting to have a break. And like pick something that is believable to you, not jumping right away like, oh, I deserve all the self-time in the world, because maybe you're not ready to jump there. But pick something that is more empowering, like feels just better, more positive, which can be like, I might have 5 minutes to myself. I really deserve a little bit of self time every day. Something that feels realistic and really not a huge jump, just something that makes you closer, feeling better and closer to what eventually you want. Having more time, more balance, more energy without guilt. And then the number three, how we are handling mom guilt is literally changing it, rewiring your brain, rewiring those patterns, and then introducing new neural pathways into your brain. Like, you know what? You can literally just feel good and empowered over your choices. You don't have to feel the guilt. When the trigger is there, like notice the triggers that are really triggering you into mom guilt, like your body is already like activated in a second and you feel guilt, and guilt is really making you like shrink, and it really pulls you down into that spiral. That can be this unconscious pattern of something is happening in your life, and then immediately there is this pattern like, oh, you see, you fall short, you are not good enough, you should do more, you should do else. And this is really like even hard to catch because it is an unconscious pattern. Like this is how you are always responding to that, when it would be about finally asking a babysitter to come, Then finally, it would be time to consider daycare, when it would be about considering how you could have more time and date night with your husband, like whatever the triggers are. And then this guilt, it just jumps in and really makes you feel like it's overwhelming, it's too much. You feel activated in your body, and you might have a little bit of harder time to catch the exact thoughts. Then the best way you can change that guilt, the best and fastest way to release it from your body is rewiring your brain, because you now have this unconscious pattern of there is a trigger, right away your brain jumps on it. You should do more. You should not even consider this. You are not a good enough mom if you're doing this. You are, I don't know, breaking your child with this. You cannot go on with this. And like really the brain is jumping on this. And that is the pattern which really like creates this immense mom guilt in you. Then we need to recharge you. We need to rewire your brain. We need to empower you with a new neural pathway. How do you want to feel instead? That you deserve it, that you can have it, that you can rest without guilt. Then you can choose your ways and love your kids. You can be the best mom in the world and still have that break. You can be an amazing, good enough mother and still want things. Because mom guilt is there only to tell you that you should not, that you are not a good enough mom if you think of that, if you need that, if you are even considering that. But that's not true. So if this is more in your body and you have a hard time handling mom guilt, I can help. At this point of time, when I'm recording this podcast, I'm working one on one. I am working with the life coaching tools and the change work, which is the unconscious rewiring and hypnosis. And this is what we do. We see what are your triggers, and then we are changing it in your brain. So the brain has a new neural pathway to choose from next time when that trigger comes up. And you can feel more neutral, more empowered, more peaceful, more motivated, more inspired, whatever you want to feel in that situation. Because guilt is not what we need. Guilt doesn't make us a better mother. Guilt doesn't make you do things better. It doesn't make you a better mother or more present mother. Guilt is actually taking you out of the present moment of the motherhood journey. So don't let it. We arrived here. Take a deep breath in with me and a long breath out. Just release guilt. Release that stress, that doubt in yourself, and re-listen to this episode as many times as you need, because you are an amazing mother. You are a good enough mom, and guilt is not necessary in our motherhood journey. I am so happy that you were here with me, listening to me. I cannot wait to hear from you. Leave a review. I'll also put my contact information in the show notes if you feel ready to drop guilt and work with me. And I cannot wait to talk to you next time. Bye.